You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming. Just something on Twitter, The Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Beasts of the Thorns. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm changing, we're up, and let's go. Yeah, there we go, right here. Okay. Chris nuzzled my shoulder. Really? Thank you, bro. Quickly, the Kelpie ended the call, and he dragged the Cylon president of the music club over. The Cylon president. The senior passed the lyrics to us, but I don't have the ability to sing the lyrics right away, and only our president has an absolute sense of sound. He's able to sing the lyrics right away, just past the end of the song. My voice was made for heavy death metal. My voice was made for heavy death metal. Don't ask me to sing such soft songs. What a waste. Chris and I resonated in thought, synchronously criticizing. Sirens are renowned for their angelic voices, yet they're using them to scream death metal. Only to see the Kelpie staring at the president of the Sirens with eyes that could kill. Only to see the president dutifully compromise, muttering violent poets and other such complaints while adjusting the Derrichin. He cleared his throat. I looked for shadows, but you gave me starry nights. I kissed you in pain, but you responded with a song. My love from the other side. Your beauty is not for this world. Though our fingers tightly intertwined, we still parted ways in the end. And let the tears lift the helm of your homeward-bound ship. Farewell, the kiss of eternal parting. Farewell. After goodbye, my heart no longer belongs to me. For a while, the original crowded square was silent. Everyone was shocked by the Siren's song. Originally, Chris's melody was a kind of magic, but paired with Siren's magical singing voice, it sent shivers down the spine. Just as everyone was still immersed in the penetrating and stunning atmosphere of the Siren's singing, the Siren forcefully strummed the strings, intending to sing the same song again in death metal style, but was promptly pushed down by the Kelpie. Almost had him spoiling the mood and couldn't help but mentally root for the Kelpies. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. I can't help but hold Chris's paw. Are these the lyrics you remember? Not really. Chris laughed brightly. Nud probably couldn't remember the lyrics himself, so the version I heard wasn't as complete, and as you should have noticed, the tune is slightly different, but anyway, I was touched to hear the full song. I feel like parts of me that have been missing are slowly coming back and give me a better understanding of who I am. I decided to join the music club. That's my big brother. But I'm not giving up Wild Hunt. I'm not against the Wild Hunt either. It's Ostrom I resent, dragging you around to plot something in secret. It's okay. I've never felt so close to Nud. I just have to work harder and people will recognize me. Everyone? Admit it? I think I smell a clue, but I don't want to question Chris when he's so happy. After all, it's the first time he's had a smile on his face in days. After driving the Siren's president back to the booth, Kelpie approached us, folder in hand. Thanks to the seniors, we were able to re-record the song. How is it? Does it match the version sung by the Baskerville family? It's not really the same. My dad forgets a lot of lyrics. Could you call your father and ask him? I would like to transcribe a copy. Chris smiled gently. I wish I could. Kelpie looked at Chris, then at me, and then got an epiphany look on his face. Man, I'm sorry. It's been a long time. It's okay. Okay, let me tell the story of the lyrics. The Kelpie averted his eyes and changed the subject. This passage from the poem of the Innu hero Kulin is about Kulin's lover, Alunj, a noble woman of Shadow, who is a native of the Kingdom of Shadows, and who has come to this world to help Kulin establish his honor. But during the journey, Alunj becomes sick and debilitated because he can't cope with the sunlight, and Kulin laments that the world doesn't accept Alunj. Alunj had no choice but to return to the Land of Shadows, while Kulin continued his journey. Later, Kulin built up a variety of brilliant martial arts honors, and was favored by Muriel, the Witch of the Raven, but Kulin's heart was set on Alunj, so he refused the witch's advances, and was eventually framed by the Witch of the Raven and died on the battlefield. And Alunj waited 1,000 years for Kulin in the Land of Shadows, and in the end, unable to endure the endless waiting, He turned into a shadow in the darkness and disappeared. Damn, worthy of a bard telling the story in such a tear-jerking way. It is said that the Baskerville family has the blessing of Allonge to be protected from any harm while traveling at night. Well, I've heard Dad tell similar legends. How come I didn't hear you say that? After all, that's demon stuff. It's rather... Chris and I talked about everything, but I haven't dared talk about Nud since he died. Besides, I didn't even think Chris and Nud were demons, so of course I wouldn't ask them about the demon legends. Accompanying Chris on his quest for Nud seems to have helped me understand Chris better. I can't help but rub Chris's head. I'm really happy for him. What's going on? You seem so happy. I want to join the music club. Do you have an application? Kelpie smiled and pulled 2 applications out of a folder for us to fill out. We then used the booth desktop and quickly wrote the information so that we were members of the music club. We also have a number of bands that you can join, or you can form one of your own. But it's perfectly fine not to be in a band. We have a very loose system, but there's a lot of solidarity. After all, parties have to have music, and everywhere in the outer limits is a party, so the demand for playing is huge. I'm happy to play music. There's even more fun waiting for you, like a chance to visit the South Wind Star Band's recording studio. Whoa. There are as many opportunities as you can get if you sign up for the cadre. Kelpie started coaxing Chris into becoming a cadre, and I don't know why everyone can see at a glance that Chris is the one for the job. His caretaker personality is perfect for serving everyone, but no, he's just too busy. I pushed Chris away, grinning at the Kelpie. Sorry, the Wild Hunt is just too busy. He can't take on any leadership roles. Kelpie nodded understandingly, but Chris was still reluctantly considering Kelpie's generous offer. When he finally snapped out of it, he was unknowingly led away from the Kelpie exhibit by me. Well, I'd still like to visit the South Winds recording studio. There's still a chance, so don't sell yourself short. Chris sighed. Ostrom won't allow it either. We don't need Ostrom's consent. After all, he's the president of the Wild Hunt, not the president of NGC 5236. It does not roll off the tongue very well. Chris looked away. I sighed. He must have some kind of deal with Ostrom again. I don't know what you're up to, but I'll judge you when it's all settled. Of course. Chris absentmindedly plucked the strings of the dulcimer, and that's when I realized we forgot to return it. Oops. Accidentally brought out the instruments from the music club. Oh. Wait, still, we filled out the phone number on our membership application anyway, so I'm not afraid they won't be able to find anyone. I'd also like to borrow the violin, Chris said, sitting down on a bench by the side of the road and plucking the strings expertly. I sat down next to him and enjoyed his casual playing. The cool wind carried Chris's notes into the distance, and there was a sense of peace in the air as I watched the people from the music club's showgrounds move toward the concert hall in the distance, where the afternoon's performances had begun. What Nud played to me seemed to be a variation, not quite the same as what President Siren just sang, and I kept trying to figure out the lyrics, but I just couldn't get the beat right. Chris's fingers are fast on the strings, and his usual instruments are bass and electric piano, which gives him a kind of brash image. But he can also play the dulcimer with elegance, which is a great contrast from the past, and I think he's quite suited to this kind of delicate instrument as well. I leaned back comfortably in my chair and let the resonance between us echo with his inner melody. There seems to be some kind of correlation between the workings of the resonance clock and the music, and I found that when I listened to him play, it was easy to get into a state of resonance with his mind, and the melody in his head resonated harmoniously in mine, penetrating my body, penetrating into the deepest parts of my being, and giving me goosebumps. It was an amazing experience. I'm starting to understand why people like to go to music bars. It's probably because they are looking for the feeling of the music penetrating their bodies. That is indeed a certain way of saying that. The music was blasting in my head. The breeze was blowing. The light was perfect in the afternoon. Chris was beside me. Everything was perfect. Suddenly I felt time slowing down. I could feel the distance between the notes expanding, and just as the last note left Chris's fingers plucked the strings, I could feel the next note at a future point on the strings, waiting for the right time to be touched, each note on the strings waiting to be played like a precision machine. I'm sure Chris felt it too. It was like riding the right wave, gliding effortlessly forward, a breathtaking sensation, a heart-stopping tension and excitement as if a single breath would break the wave. Perfect melody is lit up. The harmony is as natural as the stars beginning to twinkle in sequence as the evening falls. I've heard this piece hundreds of times, but this is definitely the best Chris has ever played it. Is this Zone? I don't know if the thought came from me or Chris, but we got distracted and the rhythm missed a beat, and the melody fell apart. Ah, oh, that's a shame. But as I looked at Chris, he was staring blankly at the chessboard, his expression focused yet puzzled. I knew that face. It was the expression he wore when he was deeply contemplating and on the verge of realizing the answer after much deliberation. I think I'm probably going to find out. Chris grabbed me in his arms and gave me a flying peck on my helmet. Thanks to me pulling you out of it, or you'd still be in the basement drilling bullseyes. Thanks, man. Chris closed his eyes and tries to replay the scene in his mind. He's a smart guy, and once he gets the hang of it, he won't forget it. I watched him close his eyes and contemplate for a long time, and then he finally opened them with a big smile. I need some more time, but I probably know how to do it. He couldn't wait to get back to the fraternity, to try out his new discovery, so he looked at the time, and it was about time to get ready for dinner. So I went back to the fraternity house to meet up and see what Amor had planned. So we headed back to the music club booth to return our instruments, and headed for the fraternity house. The three of us met in front of the fraternity house and were about to go in together. But to my surprise, there were a lot of people in the front yard. Not only were there 2 wagons parked, but there were also a couple of people adjusting the camera tripods next to the wagons. I looked at them with a bit of surprise. Oh, goodness, she is gorgeous. I looked at them with a bit of surprise. One of them, Zhao Jing, noticed me and waved happily, and I reflexively waved back. But she quickly returned to her preparations after I pushed the door into the fraternity house in a puzzled manner. I noticed loud noises coming from far away in the house, but only Bjorn was to be seen sitting at the counter. You're back! Gather in the Honeywine Hall first. Darwin has an announcement to make. Where's Ostrom? The president was discussing the interview with the news director. I understand, and nodded. Societies of the fraternity's caliber have to go over the script for anything they want to interview, or Ostrom won't answer random questions. So it's the newsroom. I've hardly seen any news club activities in human universities, and even though I know that such clubs exist, no one reads the school newspaper, but the Outlander Academy's news club can even put out 2 reporting vans. That's quite a scale. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. I want to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all if I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our Safe for Work contents as little as $5. And if y'all want to donate to our Patreon, you can donate using Super Thanks on YouTube. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!